Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to today's physics class. So, today we are going to discuss Newton's first law of motion, which is also known as law of inertia. So, before we start today's class, let's have a quick recap of things which we have discussed in the last class. So, in the last class, we discussed about balanced and unbalanced forces, and we also came to a conclusion that unbalanced force or forces causes the change of state of motion of an object. So these things we have discussed in the last class. So now let us discuss today's topic, that is Newton's first law of motion. Now before coming into the first law of motion, let's discuss about Galileo's theory on motion of an object. So what he concluded that objects move with a constant speed when no external force acts on them. So he observed the motion of marbles, which was rolled down to an inclined plane, and then there was another inclined plane through which the marble climbed up. So actually he noticed the motion of a marble rolling down an inclined plane, and then there in the adjacent to that inclined plane there was another inclined plane on which the marble climbed up. So what he concluded from this, that the object will reach the same height on the other plane as well. So whatever is the height here, the same height will be reached by this marble, provided that the surface is a frictionless surface or a smooth surface. So irrespective of the angle of inclination of this, the marble will always try to reach the same height. Now suppose if we keep on changing the inclination, the only thing is the distance covered by the marble will be increased, but the height will be again same. So in a similar way, if we keep on changing the inclination, the distance covered by the marble will keep on changing or keep on increasing, but the height it will reach is same. So if we reach a point where there is no inclination and the surface becomes totally horizontal, then he assumed that the marble will never stop. It will keep on moving forever. So that assumption proved that when the surface is frictionless and when the object is in motion, it will remain in motion until it is disturbed by any external force. So carrying on to that idea of Galileo, Newton formulated 3 laws of motion. So today we are going to discuss one of the laws, and that is the first law of motion. So this is how, taking the work of Galileo forward, he formulated 3 laws of motion. So now let us discuss about the first law of motion. So we have already discussed how unbalanced forces can cause the change in state of motion of an object. That is, an object which is at rest is brought in the state of motion, or object which is already in the motion can be stopped by applying some unbalanced forces. So let's start the idea of first law of motion. So what is first law of motion, which is also known as what? Law of inertia. So why it is known as law of inertia, that also we are going to discuss. So let's first write the statement of Newton's first law of motion. So first law of motion, it states that an object at rest will remain rest or an object in the state of motion will continue to be in the state of motion until an external force is applied, or we can say external unbalanced force is applied on it. So it states that an object at rest will remain at rest, or an object in the state of motion will continue to be in the state of motion until an external unbalanced force is applied on it. So this is Newton's first law of motion, and how it can be related to inertia. Now let us discuss that. So for that we need to know what is inertia. So I hope you have seen the definition. Let's discuss about inertia now. So what is inertia? So it is a tendency of an object to resist any change brought to it. So it is basically a tendency to resist any change. So tendency to resist any change brought to it. So that change can be in the form of state of motion or direction. So based on this, we can classify inertia into three types. So inertia can be classified into three types. Now when we say state of motion, means it can be an object at rest or an object in the motion. So here if we classify the inertia into three types, we get inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. So these are the three different types of inertia which exist in nature. So inertia of rest is the tendency of the object to remain at rest until an external force is applied. Similarly, what is inertia of motion? It is the tendency of an object to continue to be in the state of motion until and unless an external force is applied. Then similarly, inertia of direction is what? An object will tend to remain in the same direction until and unless an external force is applied. So we'll discuss all three of this with the help of example. Now discussing the example of inertia of rest, we can give an example where a passenger in a bus leans backward when a bus start moving suddenly. So what happens when we are in a bus, maybe in the standing position or even while sitting, suddenly when the bus starts, we always tend to fall backward. We lean backward. Why? Because our body, which is already at rest, it tries to remain at rest, where the lower part of the body, which is in contact with the bus, moves along with the bus. So the upper part tries to be at rest. So due to the tendency of the object to remain at rest, the upper part tries to remain at rest, and therefore the lower part goes forward. So that is because of inertia of rest. Now in a similar way, we can give the example when the bus is already in the state of motion and when it stops suddenly. So when it stops suddenly, the upper part, which is in fact the whole body which is in the state of motion, it will try to remain at motion. So the upper part, which is, we know it is flexible, so when the bus stops suddenly, the upper part still tries to remain in the state of motion. It leans forward, whereas the lower part stops along with the bus. So the upper part moves forward. That is again because of the inertia of motion. Now when we talk about inertia of direction, you must have experienced this when we sit in a vehicle, in a moving vehicle, and when there is a sharp turn either in the left or on the right, we see that our body leans sideways. So if the vehicle suddenly turns towards left, suppose it turns towards left, our body tends to go towards right, and similarly if the vehicle turns right, our body will tend to move towards left. That because when the motion was in a straight line, our body also in the straight line. So when there is a sharp turn either in the left or right, our body still tries to remain in that straight direction, and therefore when there is a turn towards left, the body still tries to remain in the straight line. So the vehicle moves towards left, body still remains in the straight line, and therefore it feels that we are going where? Towards right. Similarly, when the bus or the vehicle turns towards right, our body, which tries to remain in the straight line of motion, seems to move where? Towards left. So this is about inertia of direction. So these are the three different examples of the three states of inertia. So there are a few activities which are mentioned in your book regarding the example of inertia of rest. Now activity 9.1 states that so when we pile as carom coins on a table as shown in figure 9.6, we can see that when the carom coins are piled up one upon another, and when we hit the bottom coin, the rest of the coins, they fall as it is. They fall vertically, and the bottom one, it moves along with the striker. So this activity is there in your book. You can try at home. Then there is another activity which is 9.2. So for this we need a glass tumbler, a stiff cardboard, and a 5 rupee coin. So now I am going to do this activity 9.2, and I will show you how a coin falls into a glass tumbler when we strike a clipboard, or I have used a scale since I could not find that cardboard. So I hope you will understand better when you see this activity. So now let's see this activity. So here I am going to perform the activity 9.2 mentioned in your book. For that we need a glass tumbler. Even though it is mentioned empty glass tumbler, I have taken some water just because when the coin falls into the glass, the disturbance of the water will confirm that the coin has fallen into the glass. So here it is a glass tumbler filled with water, and I have taken a scale, a small scale. Since I could not find the cardboard, I am going to use this scale. So even you can use a small scale. So this scale I am going to place over the glass, and now we need another thing, that is a coin, preferably a 5 rupee coin, because it is little bit heavier, and a heavier coin will have a better effect of inertia. So here now I am going to place it over the scale, and I will hit the scale and let's see whether the coin moves along with the scale or it falls into the glass. So let's try. So 1, 2 and here we go 3. So clearly you can hear the sound when the coin fell into the glass, and also there was a disturbance in the water. So now I am going to pick up the coin from the glass. So here I am going to take out the coin from the glass just to confirm that the coin fell into the glass tumbler. So this is the coin which we have used for the activity. So I hope you have liked this activity and you can also try this at your home. So that's all regarding this activity. So thank you my dear students. So I hope you have understood this activity, why the coin falls into the glass. It falls because of inertia of rest. The scale, when it was hit from behind, it started moving, but the coin which was in the state of rest still tries to remain at rest, and as a result the coin remains in its position, the scale moves forward and then it falls into the glass. So this is another example of inertia of rest. So with this we have come to the end of today's topic, and this is also the last topic before our summer vacations. So now I would like to give you the syllabus of the PT1. So for PT1, from physics part only motion chapter will come. So this is your syllabus for PT1 for the physics part. So please prepare well for your exam, and also I'll be sharing the presentation list for physics today. So go through it. The date of presentation I will be mentioning in due course, but today I will be giving the topic for each of the students who are assigned for physics. So roll number 18 to 34 has been assigned for physics. So accordingly I will give you the topics today in the form of a PDF or a word file, sorry. So please go through it and you start preparing for the presentation as well. And also the project list which I have already shared yesterday, please read the guidelines properly and then you can give the project as given in the that guideline. So according to those dates which are mentioned, you have to submit your project also. So that's all for today. Thank you my dear students.